Alright guys, we're finally ready. Had some trouble setting up the microphone, but I think now it's fine. Today I'm here to show you what kind of lenses I use on my Fuji X system. And you know, as an X photographer, I get a pretty good choice of lenses. And I try to reduce as much as possible because, you know, if you have too many lenses, you spend too much time deciding on which lens to choose. And I think if you have just 4 lenses, you can achieve almost everything with them. So let's get started and let me show you what kind of lenses I'm using. So let's start with the 14mm f2.8. This is the lens with the worst aperture that I have. It's 2.8, which is still good, but not the greatest. But I found out that for wide angle, it doesn't really matter. So I use this lens mostly for landscape, but whenever a wider angle of field is necessary, and you know, if you shoot wide angle, your shutter speed is not that important. So f2.8 is fine for me for a wide angle lens. Let me show you some example images I shot with a 14mm. The next lens is the 23 f1.4. It's not the WR version, which is just aperture 2, but I think this one is better because, you know, you buy this lens one time and you want to use it for very long, and an extra f-stop of light is something that you never can go wrong with. Here are some examples I shot with the 23mm Fuji lens. Then I have the 35 f1.4. It's the old version, not the new. The new one is f2, but I think this one is awesome. Get either one of them. I think a 35mm should be in your lens kit as well. Let me show you some images I shot on a 35 f1.4. So the longest focal length that I own for my Fuji X system is the 56, which is aperture f1.2. A really great lens. It's like a little telephoto lens. Not that much, but great for portraiture, great for, yeah, whatever. You can use it for almost anything. You need to get creative if you want to do landscape with it, but I think you could. Let's see some examples of the 56 1.2 lens. So my favorite lens amongst all of these is probably the 23, because the 23 is not really wide, it's not really shallow, so this is like a 35 if you compare it to full format sensor camera, and with the 35 you can do almost anything. So if I had to pick just one, it would be the 23. And funny enough, the 23 was the lens that I had to think about for the longest time if I should go with it or if I can get everything done with my 35, because the focal length is pretty close. So I still recommend getting it. You see the difference in size is pretty big. So yeah, this is a big lens. So if you want to have a smaller 23, you should go with the f2 version. It's cheaper and it weighs much less. It weighs almost the half. So I recommend have a look at those two lenses. And as you can see with these 4 different lenses, I can do almost everything. I never miss any other focal length. So let me hear in the comments what you think. Hit like and subscribe.